What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 17 of the Cinematic Boys Reviews. Of course, today it's me and Bilal. Sammy, unfortunately, is not here today. Very sad because I think he wanted to talk about war. And I am sorry, guys, my dog is barking. Bilal, if you want to take it over, I'm going to deal with this real quick.
Oh yeah, so Sammy couldn't make it. We're talking about Warplane the Apes, which is the last movie in the Caesar trilogy, and I'm really excited to talk about this movie because I love this trilogy so much, especially with how it captures Caesar's legacy, and not only that, how this last movie still has an impact in the Apes universe, especially in Kingdom. And I must say, this is just a perfect send off to the character of Caesar, and we'll dive into that even further until we see my co host fix his dog issue. His dog is very loud.
What's up, guys? I'm back.
Oh, I was talking about your dog issue.
Oh, you're good. What did you go over so far with the people?
Talking about a little recap, being this the last movie in the Caesar legacy, how important it is. It's a perfect send off to the Caesar character.
Okay, so guys, this movie, of course, like Bilal says, the last one, this came out in 2017. It stars Andy Serkis, Woody Harrelson, Toby Kebbell's back in this in some
Yeah,
roles. And of
yeah.
course, this is directed by Matt Reeves. This is the last movie out of the two movies he done in the Caesar trilogy. But let's just get right to it,
I,
Bilal.
I actually have a question.
Oh yes.
What was your first time watching this? When was it? Like, was it in the movie
Okay.
theater? Was it at home? Like, give me the whole spiel.
So first time I watched this was at home. So before the pandemic, where you could actually go to the stores on Black Friday and get the stuff.
Yeah.
So it was that year. I just graduated from high school that year, so I got a whole bunch of graduation money I kept up. I saved up. I bought a whole bunch of movies. This was not in my Walmart, so I looked everywhere. I looked at one Target didn't have it, so there was a Target about like an hour away, and I decided to go there and get it because I was really excited. I only watched Rise. I never watched Dawn at the time, but I was really excited for War. So I went and got it. Later on, I got that same year. I got Rise and Dawn for Christmas. So the first time I watched this is when I watched them all together. So I watched Rise again, watched Dawn for the first time, like I said in the last podcast, and then I watched War right after. But this is my second time watching it, so it's a rewatch for me. My
All
first
right.
rewatch.
My first time watching this was a disaster in the movie theater.
Oh,
I
so you got
went,
to see this in the movies?
yeah, so this the only watched two Apes movies in the movie theater. This one and Kingdom. But anyways, I remembered going to 3 o'clock showtime for War, being super excited to check it out, and some woman brought her little kid who started crying middle of the movie,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
I was getting really irritated. Luckily, it was like 30 minutes into the movie, so I went, got a refund. The next show time was 2 hours later, so I went home, ate dinner, went back to the movie theater to watch Warplane the Apes, and luckily that issue never happened. But when I watched it, like went back and see it again, my seat was horrible. It was kind of in the bottom. It was like, dang. This it was like filled up and stuff like that. So it was pretty annoying experience. But once I finally saw the movie, I remember tearing up a little bit, man. Like it's a really emotional film. Especially seeing Caesar's growth from Rise, Dawn to War. I think seeing how it ended was emotional, especially the first time. It still is. And yeah, I even talked to the random person beside me. He's like, "Oh, what did you think about this movie?" He's like, "Oh, it's amazing." So it was a like kind of a bad experience to a good experience, if that makes sense. And this is definitely a rewatch for me.
I agree with you on that because the first time I watched it, I didn't know nothing, and I'm like, "Oh, Caesar dies." At the end, I'm like, "Are you serious? We went through this whole trilogy, and he's finally got his people where he wants them, his group of apes, and it's like he just dies." And it kind of bothered me because, especially being younger now, back then, and it's like because you know how when you're younger you're like more sentimental to stuff.
Yeah.
It was like that, but it's like I don't know about the rewatch. It's like it still like hit me on the rewatch, but not as much as before because I think I knew going in what was going to happen. But overall, I think this out of the three movies, this is the most traumatic one. You would say
Yeah.
like emotional one out of
Yeah, I
all three of
mean,
them.
I feel like like growing up and rewatching this, you definitely appreciate the ending a lot more than you've seen it as a younger person. Do you feel that too?
Yeah, because to be honest with you, while I was watching these movies when I was little, they were not as good as Step Down. Even War was not that good. But it's like after I don't know if it's like getting into film or after watching like what Matt Reeves has done, not only with this but the Batman, I appreciate this movie more, I think, than I did before.
Yeah. And you know what makes it easier to appreciate this movie is Matt Reeves has his own like idea, vision, and he really wants to show it, right? You see like the darker tone, you understand like the symbolism of the similar flu even more in this movie. You're like, oh wow, this is a conversation, a movie that anyone could have. And you understand both sides of the story. You understand the ape side and you understand the human side. And I think that was the best part of this movie is because when you get introduced to the villain, the Colonel played by Woody Harrison, he's ruthless, but you understand why he's ruthless because he has to do some things that he doesn't want to do and to help the human race, as does Simi Flu's the downfall of it.
So I was going to ask you, of course, Woody Harrelson like acts in everything. So when I watched this movie, the mostly only thing I knew Woody Harrelson from was Zombieland, and you know how that's a comedy.
Yeah.
So it was a total shock to see him playing a serious role in this movie,
Yeah,
especially how dark it is.
yeah. I mean, Woody Harrison does have a lot more lighthearted performances out there, so definitely having a more serious villain role for Woody Harrison was definitely interesting. But he does such a great job at it. And I must say this: the Colonel gotta be a top three villain in the Apes like the Apes universe, man. Like he has to be up there.
Let me think real quick. Let me go through it. Yeah, it could be because the only ones I could hold up against him, like Koba's definitely the best.
Yeah,
But if you do the whole entire thing, the only three that can go against it is you didn't watch it fully, but Tim Burton's with Thaden, and then Escape and Conquest, the mayor and the doctor, both of
yeah.
those movies. That's the only ones that hold up like to it. But besides that, and maybe Proximus.
Prominence, but the issue with Prominence was like the short runtime he had. If you had like more development, I think it would be a much more better villain. But
True.
but at least with Woody Harrelson, every time he showed up, it's like, oh shit, it's getting serious. And like he brings that temper, that scariness of the villain extremely well. Like every time he shows up, it's in your face, it's scary. You understand that perspective.
But below, let's get right into it. What are your like spoiler-free thoughts on this movie?
My spoiler-free thoughts is definitely love the opening of this movie, how it kind of has goes title recaps of Rise and Dawn, and then goes to War. Also love how it opens up with like some of these apes helping these humans. You're like curious on what's happening with that. I love the scale of this movie. It feels larger than the other Apes movies. The cinematography is in a whole different level in this movie. The performances all around are strong, and this movie hits you with the emotional punches. It just feels like a proper finale for the character Caesar.
Getting into some of what you have, the beginning, like I like the words, like the rise, the dawn, the war,
Yeah,
how they're highlighting that. But you can feel this as a darker film. Then, especially Dawn,
yeah.
especially
Oh, for like a
directed by
PG
Reeves.
13 movie, they
Yes,
do some really dark things. It was like they got away a lot, and I'm like, oh, I like if I was a parent, I would not bring my kid to watch this movie because I feel like this movie will like traumatize them because there's some really heavy, dark subject matter in this movie. But the way they handle those themes is really solid, though.
because especially I would get into in our spoiler section. But that beginning, it shows you straight off that this is going to be a darker movie than the others.
Yeah. Hey, did you notice that like the color grading is much more darker
Yes,
than yeah,
but not only that, but I think it also shows because it's a 2 year time jump from Dawn also. So
yeah.
you could still see like what was it? Not the side, kind of like the side effects of the simian flu, kind
Yeah, a
of.
little bit, yeah, most definitely.
But like you said, I love the cinematography in this. This probably has some of the best cinematography in the franchise.
Yeah. Oh, also the score in this one was so much better than
Okay, so the
Yeah,
score. You know how I was telling you guys it was Michael Giacchino on Dawn.
yeah,
He done War also.
yeah. I love the score for that one a lot.
The acting, I love the acting. Every like Andy Serkis is already good in this, but it seems like everyone around him amped up a little bit more
Yeah.
with like Maurice and Rocket, especially what the new characters you get like in
Bad Ape.
Oh, I love Bad Ape.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to Bad Ape later. And Donkey.
Yeah, Donkey. Yeah.
And not only that, not only the Colonel, but like the people around the Colonel, like his soldiers.
Yeah.
Some of the ones you see. Not only, but to be honest with you, everyone, the original movies, I said this earlier today in my TikTok video, has a pacing issue. And I think this is the first movie besides Dawn. I think this is really the first one that doesn't have a pacing issue.
Oh yeah,
This
like
this felt fast.
yeah, like it's what a 2 hour 20-minute movie. It doesn't
Yeah.
feel that long, to be honest.
But I think what this does, like the others don't, it gets you right into it. There's just like action straight off in like the first 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then it has a mystery too. It's like, why are some of these apes helping these humans? They're like, oh, because you don't know the story right off the bat. So it's like, oh, what's going on with that? But then we later on figured that out. So it's like,
Yeah, okay, so that's a perfect example where you said the mystery where I watched it and my mom didn't. She was like, why are the apes helping those people?
yeah, exactly.
The
Like
last movie they
that's
wanted to
how
kill them.
my reaction was in 2017. Even though I watched Dawn of Rise, I'm still like, what's going on with this? Why is this happening? Like it asks you these types of questions right off the beginning, which makes this movie so good. Like asks you these questions and it answers those questions eventually, which is like the perfect thing about this universe on these Apes movies.
But not only that, what I think is the biggest thing from this is the story. I think they done the great time to do this story, not only for like a conclusion for Caesar, but like what is going on with the simian flu and stuff, and how it's affecting the people.
Yeah.
And besides that, because I really want to go into this movie, so let's just go in straight into the spoiler section of this. So if you guys haven't seen War of the Planet of the Apes yet, it's available right now on some streaming platforms. We will tell you guys those streaming platforms later where you guys can find it. But Bilal, let's get to it. Let's talk about spoilers and war.
First of all, speaking of the Batman, the second
Yes.
attack. Well,
Yes. When you posted your TikTok video, I saw that. Was watching. I'm like, Bilal's right.
Yeah, it's like frame to frame, like almost the same shot, and I'm like, okay, Matt Reeves, I like what you did there. You saw like what you did in your previous movie. It's like you like that shot a lot. You brought it back to the Batman. It's like, okay, this guy has a clear vision, a clear storytelling. He wants to show what he's made of. And I love when directors use something that works on their previous work and bring it back to a different movie. And I think that's just so excellent.
Bro, I just thought of another shot. So you know how in the Batman at the beginning when he walks into the house, I think of was it the mayor,
Yeah.
and all the detectives turn around and look at him. Do you not realize half the time when Caesar walks into the room, all his apes turn around and look at him?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But after the first attack, Caesar is like, or like wondering why these apes are working with the humans. It's like, he thought it was because their loyalty to Koba, but it was like those apes were like fearing the Colonel the whole time. That's why they were working with these humans. And then that just adds that mystery again to the Colonel, because we don't see the Colonel right off the bat. We don't see him until like the halfway point of the movie.
No, the
So
only part we see him is like a little bit is when he kills Caesar's wife and son. That's the only time we see him.
yeah,
Besides that,
like a tiny bit, but you don't see his face because it's like cover up in paint, right? And so like also speaking on that part, uh the Colonel killing Caesar's wife and son, you understand why Caesar hates the Colonel. And there's this conversation between Maurice and Caesar is um Marie says, "You cannot escape your hate. You're like Koba." And then Caesar's like, "I am like Koba. I cannot escape my hate." Goes after the Colonel. I like how that ties in Koba still. Shows how great Koba was as a villain. Even though he's dead, it still affects Caesar.
because like Caesar could be sitting there, or he could be like having a dream, and it's just like Koba pops up right in there for no reason.
Yeah,
And like you said, it haunts him so bad because I think it's the point of he let his apes down in dawn.
yeah,
Koba took him to cook over, and Koba is the reason for all this to happen.
exactly. But there was like this ape that was scared. Snowflake, I think his name was.
Oh, it's the big white gorilla,
Yeah, the big white one.
Winter.
Winter, yeah, Snowflake Winter. He's a snowflake though, so that works that way. My bad. Anyways, Winter was the one who set them up, I think.
Yeah,
Because
he
he was
was.
scared. He was scared, right? So it's like,
No, because remember, no, what happened is when they went to the camp and they saw Winter. Winter told them where Caesar and them was because Donkey was going to kill him when they took him away.
yeah. So like Winter did that out of fear. I'm like, oh dang. Even some of these apes cannot be trusted. I like the scene when Caesar's son was like going look for a home for them to be safe. And then Caesar was like, "No, I can't go. Yeah, I have to fight this by myself." I'm like, "Dang,
No, it wasn't the sun.
where
It
was
was
it?
Lake.
It was Lake. I feel like,
Yeah, because remember, Bright Eyes and his wife already got killed,
oh
and
yeah,
they
yeah,
knew the Colonel was going to come back to kill them all because, of course, he was trying. Their main objective was to kill Caesar. It was not kill anybody else. It was just to kill Caesar
oh yeah, yeah,
because they knew if Caesar was gone, this whole entire Apes clan would die off.
exactly. Okay. Speaking of the character, Nova. Well, we don't know her name until later on, but when the little girl was first introduced, and when the apes kills the dad, I'm like, whoa. This is
Okay,
in a PG-13 movie? That is dark.
until we find out later on what happened to her, you see her nosebleed when we first see her, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I was thinking, okay, this is an abusive father because of how mean he was towards Caesar in them. I'm thinking, okay, he beats up his dog for no reason. Maybe there was a legitimate reason to do this because if he was left by herself with him, she'd probably be dead. But of course, we
exactly.
find
Yeah,
out later on it's not that.
yeah. But like, I like this symbolism of the doll, right? Reeves gives her the doll, and later on, that doll is the reason why the colonel got the simian flu.
Yeah.
It's all connected, and I just love that about it.
But besides that, I love. Okay, so Caesar's always been human and ape together.
Yeah,
Once the colonel killed his son and wife, he is against the humans. He don't like the humans at all. It's just one kill the colonel, but don't deal with any humans. When they find Nova, he's like, just leave her.
yeah, yeah,
But Maurice still has that thing of apes, humans can still coexist.
yeah,
So he brings her along. And was it, I think like 15 minutes later, we meet the best character in the movie.
yeah. Bad A, but
I love that ape.
but like, I also like the little thirsty thing that they did with Nova. That
Yes.
played a role later on when Caesar was captured, and Nova did the same thing to Caesar, thirsty, and gave him water when he was getting tortured. So like, this movie has some subtle foreshadowing, but it's so well put together. Though it's like you can put the pieces together to tell this great grand finale of Caesar.
But overall, let's get right into it. I don't really want to talk about Bad Ape.
Go.
So this is so funny. First of all, when we first meet him, we don't know he's a bad. We don't know he's ape. We think he's a human trying to steal. Was it Caesar and them's items
Yeah.
from the horse and take
Well,
off? I'm like,
like, you know what? He was about to shoot the little girl too, right?
yeah.
I'm like, dang.
Then of course he rides off and they chase him and they find out he's an ape. And this dude's like, he just stares them. He's like, ah. I bust out laughing. It's
Yeah.
like,
But
I.
you know
I'm
what
like,
the funny thing is? Remember when he went and fell?
I love that
The
scene.
the actor actually fell. It wasn't part of the script, but Maurice put it in there because it felt natural towards Bad Ape to be this like funny, goofy ape, but at the same time like intelligent.
I don't know which is the best part of that scene. When he says, I'm okay, or Andy Serkis is confused about that scene while they're still
Yeah, and
haven't
he's
got cut
because
yet. He just looks around like, what? Like, what's happening?
yeah. But speaking about Abe, remember the scene with Maurice uh wanting him to go on his shoulder to go up there, and Bad Ape's like, no, and then Maurice just screams at him, and that's like,
No, no, okay. So, no, what's the best part about that scene? Is Maurice is screaming, right? Bad Ape's not even screaming. He's just holding his mouth open.
yeah, it's like, okay, okay, okay.
But I love how Nova gets her name though,
Oh
because of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
she's playing with this thing, and Bab's like, no, don't mess with it. Now, of course, later on, he gives it to her, and it says, of course, it's from the Nova car.
yeah,
So it's like, and Mom's like, oh, that's how she gets her name.
yeah.
I'm like, damn, I forgot about that.
But I also like that Maurice speaks during that. Her name,
Yes.
no, like that. It's such a beautiful, like,
And I think this is the first time we hear Marie speak, right?
yeah,
Because we hear Marie speak at that scene, not only that, but at the end, though, when he's talking to Caesar.
yeah. I mean, like, Maurice is such a great, wholesome character. I mean, like, this movie, Caesar lost all hope in humanity, but Marie still has that in his heart to care about humanity. It's like, oh wow. Yes, Marie is he experienced the bad side of humanity, but he still cares about it. He wants, like you say, he wants humans and the apes to coexist with each other.
because because there has been three of them always together in
Yeah,
this whole trilogy: Caesar,
Rocket.
Rocket, Maurice, from the very beginning. And Rocket and Maurice, even though when Caesar goes down the dark path that he does, both of them know that it's always Caesar's rule: human, ape, coexist. There's always the three rules: apes together strong, humans and apes coexist, and ape don't kill ape. And I love how, like I said before, how even though Caesar's going down that dark path, they still stay on the goal of don't give up. Tell
Yeah,
them don't give up. They're if you want to, you can get them, but don't let it control you like how it controlled Koba.
yeah. And like this is a little bit off topic, but the scene when Buck gave Nova the little flower, and then Buck
Oh, that
sacrificing
made me
his
that
life,
made me sad.
sacrificing his life for Caesar, and then Nova giving Buck the flower back and crying. That scene gets me every time, man. Like that was the emotional scene, and it just shows that this movie has so much high stakes.
Yeah, she does. Because I think that because there's always a couple scenes. Of course, once when Caesar dies at the end. The second is that scene. Oh, what's the other scene? There's another scene.
Oh, remember
I think
this?
it's the. I think the other scene is when of course Caesar's in the cage, and I think he has that clairvoyance of human and it coexists during this moment of when Nova comes in, and we all think that she's going to get killed because of course Colonel kills everybody that has the disease
Yeah.
because of course he don't want no not only him but anybody to get
But
because he's like
speaking of the Colonel, like he even sacrificed his son because of disease, man.
yeah, you could see how brutal he is. But not only the apes are scared of him, it's so bad, especially once we figure out why he's there, why he's always been there and stays there, is because the humans are so scared of him also that they're bringing full armies just to take the was it the ammunition and the weapons
Yeah,
area.
yeah. But remember a scene when there were like humans wearing the apes, stuff, and then when the apes saw them, the simian flew. That just shows how ruthless the Colonel is. Like if you had the simian flu, you're dead.
Yeah, because
Like
that was his own soldiers.
that was his own soldiers.
Because especially when Caesar says he's like, you killed your own people.
Yeah.
It's like you
Oh,
killed them.
the whole scene when the Colonel points a gun on Caesar, and when Caesar's like that scene was so cold. Like when the Colonel points a gun at Caesar.
So I think it's that scene. Also, it's a deleted scene. I don't know if you've seen this deleted scene, but it's the scene of when him or the Colonel or Tarkin right there.
Yeah.
We find out what happened to Malcolm from Dawn.
Oh
So the
really?
Colonel, yes. So you don't know this? I just figured this out a couple weeks ago. So Malcolm told the Colonel that Caesar is good. Like he's not bad. There was another ape that took over, and he's the reason you guys are coming. Caesar defeated him. The Colonel don't care. He kills Malcolm.
What?
Yeah, because he told Caesar, he's like, you know what I did to him? He's like, I shot him.
Damn, bro. Malcolm was such a great human character too, though. That's things. Um, Speaking of the Colonel, like Woody Harrison just had that posture as the Colonel. Like he was straight up serious. He was scary, And scenes like some small scenes such as the conversations between him and Caesar, and seeing that dialogue of him killing his son, killing anyone with simian flu, was ruthless. But you understand that he wants something for humanity to be there. So that's why he has this whole hatred towards the apes, because he wants his humanity to be there, right? So he has this hatred for these apes because they kind of get rid of that humanity. They're losing their senses. They're losing their voice. So the scene when the colonel touches that little doll and gets the simian flu, and Caesar coming after him, and Caesar didn't even kill him, right? The colonel was
Nope.
so upset that he got the simian flu, he shoots himself. It shows how much he hated the apes, but they especially hated gaining the simian flu. And it's like it's ruthless, but you sometimes feel bad for the colonel at the same time. It's just such a great villain.
Because from that scene, there's two scenes I want to talk about with the Colonel. That scene, it shows that Caesar's not like Koba, because he could have killed the Colonel right there.
Yeah.
But the Colonel wanted to kill himself. So it's like a clairvoyance for Caesar's like, okay, I'm not going to do it. He wants to do it to himself. So I am not going to be put through the torture and live the rest of my life knowing that I killed a person and it's going to bother me forever. I'd be like Koba. The second thing of how ruthless the Colonel is he's like, that scene, he's like, I didn't even know that was your son and wife. He's like, but if I came back, and he's like, if I had to do it again, I would kill them again. And you
Yeah.
could tell how he just don't care. He just don't care about not only the apes but the humans that get affected. Like it's his what he wants, he gets.
Exactly. Um, I also want to applaud like the little redemption arc with one of the apes, because he was getting sick and tired being called donkey, and then he saw Caesar in the final battle coming up, and then you see Caesar get hit by arrow, and then that scene does damn. And then you see that ape get shot in the head. I'm like, holy shit,
No,
bro.
what pisses me off is the same dude who shot him is the same dude who Caesar sent back in the beginning.
Yeah,
If Caesar didn't send them back, he would never got killed.
yeah. Again, it's part of the great foreshadowing that's going on.
Because
And
especially I kind of like the foreshadowing right there. Because like later on, like early in the film, Woody Harrelson's like, you shouldn't give him up. He's one of my best shots.
yeah,
And of course later on he just hits Caesar like right there.
yeah, like I mean, I feel like this move, like Matt Reeves took so much care of telling this emotional story because he cares about these Ace movies so much. You can really tell about his passion. So he wanted this to be a great send off for the Caesar legacy, but he does such an excellent job, man. Like this movie is so perfect in my eyes. I don't see any flaws in it. Um, I appreciate what Matt Reeves did with the Dawn of War because it's just incredible.
But besides that, below, do you have anything else for War?
Um, okay, we talked about Noah. We talked about the Colonel. Let's talk about Maurice more. Because I feel like we didn't really tackle Maurice that much in this movie. When we were talking about him. First of all, like the whole relationship between Maurice and Nova was so beautiful and cute. And I must say, it shows that Maurice loves humans no matter what, and really stays loyal to Caesar towards the end. And it's crazy to think that the first person that Caesar talked to was Maurice, and the last person Caesar talked to was Maurice. It just shows how important their friendship was. And Maurice is just a wonderful character as a whole.
But oh, let's talk. Okay, let's talk about that ending a little bit. Then I want to get into our little ranking that we have right now for the Apes movies. So, of course, you see once Caesar takes them to the land where he always wants them on over the mountain. That was their journey to get there. There's a clairvoyance of he's okay to let go, but then once he sees Cornelius play with Nova and the other kids, he's like, I don't want to die right now. He's like, he's just only a little kid. He won't have nobody if I go on. But it's like then, like you said, like when Maurice like looks at him, he's like, it's okay. Like we got him. He's okay with us. You can go on now.
Yeah,
And it just
like
shows how good of like a friend Maurice has been because, like you said, that's the first ever ape that he has talked to, and that's the last ape he talks to before he
yeah,
dies.
and even like the character Rocket, like not Maurice, Rocket and Caesar Rise. Rocket was picking on Caesar. It took Rocket a minute to be loyal towards Caesar, and Rocket stuck around with Caesar no matter what after that.
Yeah. But is that mostly it for you for war?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bilal, pull up your letterbox.
Oh, let me get my phone real quick.
Okay, you're good. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're at the end of the after we have concluded the trilogy now. Me and Bilal actually have went back and watched all 10 Planet of the Apes movies in this franchise from the first one, 1968, to the most current one, and Kingdom, and each of us is going to give our ranking for you guys. But let's get right into it, Bilal. We're going to start from 10 and go to 1, and we can power our little thoughts into each of the movies if we want to. But I'm going to let you go first. What is your number 10?
My 10 is Planet Apes by Mark Shitwell. Mark Wahlberg, my bad. That movie was terrible. Um, I must say the only good thing about this movie was not the performances. I mean, not Tim Burton. Timber Off was good, but I did like the makeup design on the apes. I think that was really good, but like I didn't like how dull this movie looked. And Mark Wahlberg had no idea what he was doing in this movie whatsoever.
Did you even finish the movie?
Unfortunately, yes. The
Oh yeah,
ending.
she.
What was the
She's
ending? That didn't even make
okay.
sense.
No, okay. So I'm gonna tell you something right now because of course, Planet of the Apes is my number 10. Also, Tim Burton's. Disney, not Disney. Fox, Mark Wahlberg, and Tim Burton's gonna be girlfriend at the time. Um, you know the one who plays the guy who kills who is it from Harry Potter? Gary Oldman's character, Sirius Black.
Yeah,
She plays the so her and Tim Burton got involved after this. They all wanted to come back. Mark Wahlberg, and Fox wanted to make a sequel to this. Tim Burton said he'd rather jump out a window than do a sequel to this
yeah.
movie.
You can really tell that Tim Burton didn't
He
care
didn't
about
care.
his. He didn't care about his franchise. Why are you getting a director who doesn't care about the Apes franchise to make an Apes movie? I don't know.
I think they only got him because, like you said, the visuals. I think he could have done the visuals real well. The only good thing about this movie, like you said, is Tim Roth. Tim Roth is he gave a bad was given a bad script, but he done good at what he
Yeah, don't get me
did.
started on how they butchered that line.
Oh
That you,
yeah, I can. I'm gonna
that,
get into that. Damn dirty ape. That's the most iconic line from the first movie. And you mess up and you do damn dirty human. I about literally yelled at the screen watching this
yeah,
movie because I'm like, you messed up. And there's no names. There's no Caesar. There's no names from the originals, any of the original movies. That's why I love about this current Planet of the Apes saga that we got right now. There's so much Easter eggs and lore sprinkled in from the original franchise, and Tim Burton did not know what he was doing with this.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, First of all, like, why are you going to do that line in the beginning of the movie where we didn't even get to develop these characters whatsoever? Like, that scene could have been used so much better, but it's whatever.
So, Bilal, what is your number 9?
My number nine is Beneath Planet Apes, mainly because it was like literally a remake of the first movie, except it didn't use what's the character's name from the OG?
Taylor.
Taylor. They didn't use Taylor to use a different character, Brad, who has the exact same personality as Taylor.
He looks like
So
him, hair color, beard, everything. I'm like,
like, and then the third act just went absolutely weird. I didn't get what direction they were trying to go with that movie. Yeah, Beneath Planet of the Apes was super disappointing. Like I loved the OG Planet of the Apes, so I was really disappointed with this one.
so my number 9 is also Beneath of the Planet of the Apes. Like you said, this is a shot for shot remake of the first movie, and that's bad enough. I thought it was a little bit good because it's kind of actually it has the main concept of like the first movie for shot to shot, but it was going a little bit different. But once you get to that third act and them going under into old New York City at the
Yeah,
time, and you find out like the human race is like sci-fi and like it's weird when they took their little mask off. That's a horror movie, rather. That's just horror movie fuel for like the
yeah,
70s at the time because this came out in 1970. And the ending, dude, I don't know what that ending was. I literally looked, was thinking, what just happened? I'm like,
yeah,
how is this third movie in this franchise going to be? Because you just done that.
yeah. Um, Beneath, I don't know what they were trying to do with that. I don't know what they were trying to
It's
cook
really
up.
disappointing because, like you said, the first one is such a good movie and a top like staple for the franchise, and they brought out this.
Yeah, I yeah.
So, Bilal, what is your number 8?
Number eight is the disappointing conclusion of Battle Planet of the Apes. I didn't really care for it. Honestly, I feel like it was trying to play it too safe, and I didn't see the battle until the end of the film. And the battle was good, but Caesar's character was great in Conquest. I wish they expanded his personality even more to be more of a better leader. But I thought battle was disappointing.
Okay, so my number 8 is Battle also.
That's-
This rank is getting really similar. But the thing with this, I know this is your second movie with Caesar, right? Caesar's
yeah,
like your main staple of why the humans and this ape revolution and this thing happens. And you do 2 movies with him only in this original franchise. And like I like the first like 10 to 15 minutes. It was interesting. Then once they get it's always when they get to the underground part of the
yeah,
city, that's when it goes downhill. These characters, human characters, were so unlikable in that wasteland part. The human characters where the ape village was, I actually liked them. But besides that, Aldo as a villain, I like Aldo as a villain. He was good. He kind of reminded me of a Koba.
yeah.
He's like he wants to overthrow Caesar and be in command.
Yeah. My next one is Conquest Plenty Apes. I actually really enjoyed this one a lot. Definitely the darkest one from the like OG movies, especially with how they made these apes these slaves and seeing how humans were mistreating them. This is the first time we see Caesar in the OGs, and he was a really great character. I love his relationship with Armando. Armando?
It's Armando.
Armando, yeah, him. I feel like their chemistry together was strong in this movie. And I also love the speech of Caesar in the end of the movie, too. I think that was really solid.
So my number 7 is Escape from the Planet of the Apes. So for me, we finally see how this third movie got set up in this original franchise. But what kills this movie is the pacing and the ending. That's the two things. The pacing, it's the thing with these original movies besides the first one. Okay, okay, it hurts the first one a little bit, but these last ones, the pacing is rough, and that ending, they drug that ending out too much on the
Yeah.
ship because, like, literally that last minute of when Cornelius and
Sierra.
Zero gets killed, you could have done that in 2 minutes. You don't have to make it a 10-minute scene for no reason. But below, what is your number six?
My number six is Kingdom Planet of the Apes. I thought this was a really strong start to Westball's, you know, vision. Noah is such a great character that represents Caesar's legacy. The way they care about Caesar's legacy in this movie was really strong. Unfortunately, I had some pacing issues and wish we got a more proximate Caesar. But other than that, it's still a great movie.
So my number six is Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Like Bilal said, this for me, this is the best sequel out of the original franchise. We finally get Caesar, and with this Caesar, he reminds me a lot of Koba because you know how our Caesar is more of a human and apes coexist. This Caesar don't care about humans, especially after he knows that humans killed his parents and how he sees at the beginning of the movie how the humans treat all these apes bad. So he don't care about no humans except Armando because Armando raised them, and the mayor in this movie, he's a top tier villain. I hate this man. He because and he wants anything to get rid of these apes, especially Caesar, because he's the one that can talk. Because if he's the one that can talk, he's the one that's going to lead them down the path of what Zara and Cornelius was talking about. And
Yeah,
that final speech in that movie of what Caesar gives to what's his name, Murphy, I think.
yeah, Murphy, yeah, yeah.
That's that's a great speech. The whole 5 minutes is absolutely perfect because of course they got the mayor held down. He's just looking because of course Murphy is the only human that like reasons with
Yeah.
Caesar and what he's doing. But overall, best sequel in the original franchise. But below, what is your number five?
My number five is the OG Planet the Apes. I love how this movie opens with ship crash. I think that was a really strong start. And then you feel the mystery because these humans don't know what's going on. And then we later find out that these apes are like apes are in control. Humans are kind of like the slaves of this universe or like this world. And I thought that was really great. And I love how they introduce Cornelius and Sierra, and I love the reactions of the apes in this movie when they figure out that Taylor could talk. Their reactions was hilarious, and also love the iconic line that Taylor says, "Get your Philly palms on me, damn dirty ape." I think that was so great. I think this is just a great apes movie overall.
For my number five, I got Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I like this movie as the beginning of the Caesar trilogy, but what hurts it is Rupert Wyatt directing it because it's not what Matt Reeves has done. It's a lighter tone, and I didn't like that much. And there's too much human characters in this. It's the human characters that bother me in these types of movies. And it kind of bothered me with Escape Rat towards the end, and it bothers me with this one towards the beginning. But besides that, I think it's a good thing to start out this trilogy. But Bilal, what is your number four?
My number four is Escape Planet Apes. I love the time travel stuff in this movie. It was so excellent, and I love how they treated Sarah and Cornelius. Like their chemistry together on screen was great. It was kind of funny seeing them be this like famous apes in this timeline. It was compelling, and at the same time, they kind of ruined themselves by talking There's no human knows that they were supposed like did they know that apes could talk, and I think this was the most fun apes movie until the ending came. I'm like, the ending is the only reason why I couldn't give this movie a 4.5 out of 5 stars, but it's still a 4 star movie for me.
So my number four is the OG Planet of the Apes from 1968. This movie's really good, and after knowing the ending, it kind of hurts it a little bit. I bet you people back in 1968 when this movie first came out, because this was the first ever Planet of the Apes movie. That ending probably shocked everybody. That this was actually the Earth and they were in New York City.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you said, I like Zara and Cornelius, especially their relationship with Taylor, and kind of like how Nova, like they Taylor teaches Nova stuff in this, and
Yeah.
like she like hits it really well with like what he's saying. And but besides that, I think this is a good movie to start out this whole entire franchise and establish this. But Bilal, what is your number three?
My number three, gotta be Rise of Planet of the Apes. I love this movie so much, dude. I mean, seeing Caesar's coming to age and becoming this ape that we seen and know and love was so great in the beginning. I love the relationship between Caesar and Will in this movie. And I love how this movie shows how horrific these human characters are. But you understand why Will did these experiments because he's trying to save his father from the Alzheimer's disease. I just enjoy the hell out of Rise of Planet of the Apes.
So my number three is King of the Planet of the Apes, the newest film to this franchise. The only thing that drags this, that hurts us, that bumps it down a half a star is that beginning, because it feels like the lighter tone. For me, it's the light. It's like that's the lighter half of the movie, and that's where it hurts it a little bit. But once we get to Proximus and what he does, it feels like what Matt Reeves done with his last two movies, and I really enjoy that. And especially I like the character of Noah, played by Owen Teague. I think he's going to carry this trilogy far out. I'm excited for him for to see what him and Wes Ball does in this franchise, and hopefully we get more May in this also, and hopefully Proximus is still alive, by the way,
Rocco.
and probably Rocco too. But Bilal, what is your number two?
My number two is War of the Planet of the Apes, the movie that we were just talking about. A perfect send off to the character of Caesar. An emotional film with so much heartbreaking moments. The stakes are so much higher, and it's just an excellent movie in my eyes.
And my number two also is War of the Planet of the Apes. Like Bilal said, perfect send off to this trilogy. Matt Reeves done perfect with what he built off this story, and I just love this movie. And Bilal, what is your number one?
Cheer to say together.
Okay, our number one is Dawn of
Dawn
the
of Planet
Planet
of
of the
the
Apes.
Apes.
No, no,
Copa.
no, no. Caesar, weak. Koba, weaker. That line, whoa! I love
Yeah,
that damn line
peak
so
line.
much.
But this movie does such a great job at asking questions. Could apes and humans coexist with each other? And I just love the dynamics between, Copa and Caesar. Copa hates humans. You understand why he hates humans. He's been experienced on his whole life. But Caesar has this light that he cares about humans because he was raised by Will. So seeing that downfall of friendship and seeing this personal thing between Caesar and Koba was heartbreaking. But Koba is one of the coolest villains of all time in cinema history, without a doubt.
And like you've said, I love this movie so much. Matt Reeves took this franchise over and he hit it right on the head. He turned this movie on its head from what the Rise of the Planet of the Apes was. He done great with it. He brought Michael Giacchino in to do the perfect score for this movie. set up Caesar's story perfect for this middle chapter of this trilogy. And like you said, I love how he took of Caesar's story about how he coexists with the humans because of will, and he creates this relationship with Malcolm. And then, of course, like you said, Koba is the way Koba is because Jameson treated him bad and tested on him. So he always thinks all humans are bad, but they're not actually not. It was just that one damn human.
Yeah.
But let's get right into it. Our end segment of this. Let's get into our Rotten Tomatoes score, Bilal.
94.
For critic?
Yeah.
Audience?
It has to be 90, right? It has to be high, right? There's no way it's that low.
Bro, you hit the critic right on its head.
Really?
The critic is a 94.
Okay.
Audience is 84.
84?
Yeah.
84?
Yep.
Ain't that low?
What do you think the box office is for this movie?
I'm 900 million. I don't think it hit 1 billion. Could be close. We'll see.
$490.7 million.
Worldwide?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
But you gotta think this is 2017. This is the year that everything came out. Let's go right into it. What is your ranking of this movie?
Ranking or rating?
Oh, I mean rating, not ranking.
5-star.
5-star, awesome. And so, where you guys can watch this movie, it is available
on Disney Plus,
which is Hulu also for us. It's available for both. But I think that's mostly it for this war episode, isn't it?
I think we could.
Yes. So when you guys, our next review, I'm gonna tell you a little bit of news. Me and Bilal have been talking. You know, we've been announcing that we're going to do Mad Max. We're not going to do the Mad Max franchise, ladies and gentlemen, anymore.
We're going top by Fury Road, though, right?
Okay, so how we're going to set this up is, and because our next episode we're doing Kingdom, which we already have filmed and will be out very soon. So our next podcast episode we're going to be talking about Furiosa. But to include that, we're going to be talking about the other Mad Max movies also, with one Road Warrior, Beyond the Thunderdome, and Fury Road. Like, we can go over the first three, but we will mostly go over Furiosa and
Fury Road.
Because I think those two movies will coexist a lot more with each other, especially what George Miller has in store for Furiosa. But with that being said, our new review that we're going to be reviewing,
Bad Boys, what you going to do? Okay, sorry, my bad.
You could. We're going to be doing the Bad Boys trilogy because we're Bad Boys for Life, not for Life. I'm really not liking the title they did. They should have done For Life for the fourth movie. Where Bad Boys Ride or Die is coming out in.
We ride together, we die together. Bad Boys.
It's coming out in 17 days from right now where we're recording, so in about less than 3 weeks. So we're going to be recovering from
an injury of a podcast. Dakota lost his throat, because he's been working too hard.
But we're going to be reviewing the whole trilogy leading right up to Bad Boys Ride or Die. Then after that, we're going to, I don't know what we're going to do. Me and Bilal going to be planning what we can be doing next for you guys. I think I might know, but stay tuned for that. So if you guys are listening to Apple or Spotify right now, hit that follow button, leave us a rating. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, the video version right now, seeing both of us, hit that like button, leave us a comment of what your ranking is of the Planet of the Apes franchise. And also give us a like on this video. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification, because not only it tells you when we post videos, but I'm the one that posts a lot of this, all the social media stuff. And I'll be posting a lot more shorts also. We'll be posting TikToks. So You will notify you for episodes, for reviews, podcasts, and not only that, but highlights from our episodes in short clips. So, guys, with that being said, when you hear me and Bilal next time, we will be talking about.
Fury Road.
No, we will be talking about Bad Boys.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
because the Bad Boys, we'll be talking about Bad Boys, but Fury Road becomes soon. And don't worry, Sammy will be back on for the Bad Boys episode. But guys, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.
Peace. MBK out.